am Danny Reeves, editor-in-chief of DLXVRSN magazine, and welcome to Bel Air Lounge. We are live here tonight at the Durango Resort for DLXVRSN magazine podcast, and I'm so excited because we have Nate Skala here with Skala Industries. Welcome, Nate. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Danny, it's so great to be here. Appreciate you for having me, and I'm excited to have a great conversation with you today.
We have a very exciting conversation because Skala Industries is something very unique. I've actually never sat down with anybody that has been in this industry. I think it's something that a lot of our readers can learn about. Can you tell us, they're micro markets.
Right.
So you are placing them in residential areas, schools. I mean, it's kind of unlimited, right?
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about what these micro markets even are.
Sure. So I always like to explain to people that micro markets are kind of a step up from vending machines. So think vending machines, right? So you'll have snacks in them, you'll have beverages in them. But what does everybody hate about vending machines? Everything gets stuck. The vending machines, they can break, right? But with our micro markets, right, it's more of a self-checkout layout. So it'll be in the form of an open shelving concept, open beverage refrigerators. We'll have a self-checkout kiosk and a curated option of different snack and beverage options and even fresh food options as well. And so what we're doing is we're putting those at the workplace and we're putting them at residential buildings.
So nobody is working there. It's all self-sufficient.
Exactly. And we do have security measures in place too for obvious reasons.
Okay. I mean, this is definitely the future type of a business. And I think that you are a young professional. What drove you? What was your ambition to even start something like this? Like, were you living in a residential area that needed something like this? What sparked this idea?
Well, you know what? Like, ever since I was a kid, I've always loved creating things. So that's why I knew that getting into business and taking that path of entrepreneurship was really for me. But I think that this specific industry was actually sparked from a couple years ago. I was working at a call center and I had a bag of chips get stuck in a vending machine. And like everybody else, you know, like you go shake the machine and then you go say some really professional words out loud. And I initially started with vending machines, but it wasn't until last year that I asked myself the most important question any business owner can ask themselves is, how can I do this but better? And that's when the concept of micro markets really started to take shape in my head. And as early as earlier this year is when we launched the very first one. And that's the path forward. No more vending machines, fully focused on micro markets now.
Okay, amazing. I feel like Las Vegas is kind of the city for that. We are always taking trends head on and kind of being an innovator for that.
Right.
Are you seeing an industry that's thriving in something like this? Is this something that we should be looking forward to when we go to
Absolutely.
all sorts of places? I feel like even at the casinos, right? Like,
right. Yeah, absolutely. It's the future. I mean, you know, nowadays in business, if you're not finding ways to make things better for the people you serve, then you're already behind, right? That's how you become obsolete. And I think that overall, the industry itself is...
My name is Nick Pomponio, and I'm here to provide you with the legal representation you deserve. Enough of the gimmicks and attorneys selling taglines and empty promises. Not only will I cut you a check, but I plan on changing your life. If you have suffered injuries in an accident, contact me today.
Is taking a turn towards micro markets. And again, like going back to what I said earlier, is when I first initially started thinking that this concept was the path forward for our company, it was mostly because I didn't want to be the guy 10 years from now who had a whole bunch of vending machines when the whole industry had moved forward from vending machines. So, you know, again, it goes back to making everybody's lives a little bit easier, making sure that people aren't running into items getting stuck, and most importantly, for residential buildings, creating an additional amenity that they can use as a selling point. And not too many communities have micro markets yet.
Right.
So
I would maybe pay extra for that amenity. But what do you say to the people who are so against like something like this taking a human's job? Because now you don't have somebody working in the shop. It's all self-sufficient. Do you find anybody challenging this, and what do you have to say about that?
Well, you have to have a deeper understanding as to what goes on behind the scenes, right? Who's actually going to be fulfilling those locations? I actually argue to that we'll be creating jobs, because eventually when we grow a route in Vegas that's so vast and we grow a footprint across the entire U.S., we're going to need people to fulfill these locations. Again, we're not in the business of just stocking up snacks and beverages. We're in the business of having human-to-human interactions, building friendships, building relationships, because when we go to that location, and we're able to interact with the people that we serve, if we create a good experience for them, that could be more opportunities down the line. So again, we're not in the business of just selling snacks and selling items. We're in the business of building friendships.
I love
so
that.
having a human-to-human element is always going to be there for us.
Yeah, because when you put an element like that in any kind of residential space or anywhere, people do start to gather there. It's kind of like your water station back in the day. Your water station, you go and hang.
Right.
You'd go there, like the printer station, but now we're hanging out in the micro market and getting our snacks and meeting our neighbors and having a great, who knows what kind of connection you would make in an environment like
Look,
that.
everybody's got those late night cravings. Everybody's got to run out to the store to go get something that they could just have accessible on property. Or even if you're at work, you want your workforce to be energized. You want your workforce to be able to go get that energy drink. Like, why would they go spend an extra 20-minute unscheduled break to go run to the convenience store to go get energy drinks when we can bring that on site for you?
Yeah, make my life so much easier.
That's
you're
what it's all
definitely
about.
on something. I want to ask you, because who inspired you growing up to be so business savvy and that mindset?
Growing up,
we're celebrating tonight. By the way, we're celebrating top business leaders in Las Vegas, and Nate is one of our honorees.
Thank you
But
very
I think
much.
it's just so amazing, and I would love to hear where you even got that inspiration or that drive. Who inspired you to become who you are today?
It was a lot of things. For one, I would definitely got to give credit to my mother for my creative ability. She was an award-winning graphic designer for a while. She had a lot of business aspirations herself. Yeah, so got to give some credit there. My dad, great people person. And, you got to have that element in getting anywhere in life. Like anything that you want to achieve in life, it's going to require people to do so. Growing up, I played a lot of sports, so I was very competitive. And I feel like it was that competitive and that creative nature that really just started to shift me towards that path of, wanting to create something. I've always liked creating systems. I've always liked creating things. And it's that gratification of being able to create value and bring it to others that makes you feel good. And that's how I knew entrepreneurship and building a company that can become something great. It was the path for me. So
awesome. Now, we met at an event of ours as well, and
Right.
I just absolutely love you supporting Deluxe Version Magazine. You came out here, you met our community, and you become family with us. And I just kind of want to see, hear a little bit about how you found us and what it was that gravitated, what you found in us that you wanted to come and hang out with us all the time.
Well, first of all, Danny, I want to say congratulations to you, because you've done such a great job building a great community of just everybody who's striving for greatness in life, everybody who's striving for greatness and excellence in life. And naturally, that drew me to the community that you guys have built. But a friend of mine, shout out to Ian Dubo in Harmony Home Loans, he's building great things. I had seen that he had some features along with you guys, and I'm like, wow, like Ian is doing great things. And then I saw an event that had come up, and I noticed that it was, sort of an open event. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I got to go there. I got to go make new friends. And that's how I found my way into the Deluxe community. And again, it's that greatness and excellence and just that community that you guys have established that really drew me in. And so I'm so happy to be part of the Deluxe family. And
I love that. Thank you so much for saying that. We really enjoy you being with us as well. And congratulations on top 20 business leaders and everything that you are building as Skala Enterprise. We're live here at Bel Air, so there's lots of people arriving, and it's getting louder as we continue this interview. But thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to celebrate you tonight. And you are watching Deluxe Version Magazine.